Final Fantasy VII is about two men who discover they aren't the heroes they wanted to be. I recently replayed the 1997 original and began to notice the plot details I overlooked when I was younger. And so I found myself asking a question. Why does Sephiroth lie? Why exactly does Sephiroth pretend that Cloud was never a real person? Cloud Strife is certainly a fantasist. He pretends to be a soldier first class and Sephiroth's pertinent protege, witnessing the Nibelheim incident firsthand. In truth, he flunked soldier recruitment and was only at Nibelheim as a masked anonymous grunt. Whilst he did confront Sephiroth and even kill him, the rest of his story is stolen from Zack. The thing is, Sephiroth doesn't just taunt Cloud with the truth. He goes a step further and says Cloud was never a real person to begin with. Just a clutch of mutant Genova cells, constructed 5 years ago and assembled with Tifa's memories. But why? 5 years ago you were constructed by Hojo, piece by piece, right after Nibelheim was burnt. A puppet made up of vibrant Genova cells, her knowledge, and the power of the Mako. An incomplete Sephiroth clone. Not even given a number. That is your reality. I've heard some folks say it's revenge for Cloud humiliating Sephiroth in combat, but I don't think revenge is enough of a reason. No, I think that to understand Sephiroth's sadism, you have to understand Sephiroth's shame. Sephiroth is subjecting Cloud to his own shame at discovering he's a constructed being, whose achievements aren't even his own. When we're introduced to Sephiroth, the Wutai War is over. The celebration of war heroes is fading away. It's just as Cloud says. How do you feel, Mr. Sephiroth? With no hometown or parents, and his status now fading, Sephiroth is a man at risk of losing his identity. This question is what frames the Nibelheim incident, the experience they shared. At Nibelheim, Cloud and Sephiroth are shamed. Cloud is devastated by his failure to protect Tifa. Sephiroth discovers he's a puppet, a manufactured being, and everything he thought he achieved really belongs to Shinra and a scientist he despises. But they deal with their shame in opposing ways. Cloud chooses denial. He steals the sword and the story of Zack Fair, a better hero than Cloud ever was. He cobbles Zack's war stories into a fake persona and lives a mercenary fantasy. Sephiroth, on the other hand, embraces his truth. If he's not human, why can't he be superhuman? Like teenage Cloud, he responds to humiliation with an ego-defending superiority complex. Sephiroth adopts the persona of a gleeful sadist, exactly the monster he sees in himself. But Sephiroth is a fake man too, literally. Every time we see him, between the flashback and the whirlwind maze, it's really just Genova taking Sephiroth's form. The game doesn't do a great job of explaining this, but it's the reason we keep meeting Sephiroth and then fighting Genova. These forms we meet are just carbon copies of Sephiroth as he used to be. The real Sephiroth is a half-dissolved torso, a corpse in a Mako crystal. You're right. This is the end of this body's usefulness. If Sephiroth has a thing throughout the FF7 compilation, it's his obsessive compulsion to recreate his image over and over. Through clones or hosts or mental projection, Sephiroth's quote-unquote superpower is that his image has to persist through death. The same perfect body, never aging or dying. It's a mirror of Cloud's own ego-protecting fantasy life. Neither man can let go of his self-image. Sephiroth despises Cloud, I think because Cloud is a fake man just like Sephiroth was, and he isn't even ashamed. It's projection. He says Cloud is a monster, a puppet, a fraud, because that's exactly how he witnesses himself. A half-human, Shinra-manufactured, fraudulent war hero. And that's where his compulsion comes from to regenerate his damaged self-image. But eventually, Cloud and Sephiroth's contradicting stories have to collide. At the Whirlwind Maze, Sephiroth confronts Cloud with the inconsistencies in his story and forces Cloud to experience shame. He wants Cloud to feel exactly as he does, and that's why he lies about Cloud's origins. Cloud is metaphorically and literally buried alive when the life tree collapses and Sephiroth pulls them both underground. With Tifa's guidance though, Cloud is able to recover. Painfully at first, he acknowledges his failures and opens up to his friends. He's humble and accepts the mistakes of his past, without using it as an excuse to shirk responsibility for the present. The great Sephiroth can't do that though. Sephiroth hides behind his half-alien heritage as an excuse. He knows well into the game that he's no Cetra. He would just rather destroy the planet and erase the past than live in a world that humiliates him. And ultimately, that's why he loses. Deep in the planet's core, Cloud confronts Sephiroth for the third and final time. Sephiroth has no dialogue after the Whirlwind Maze. Now that Cloud understands the truth, he has nothing left worth saying. So Sephiroth reveals his Bizarro form. I think this grotesque, bulbous mess is actually the real Sephiroth. The torso that remains of him is at the top, and appears to be birthing his own giant undead body. This is the game's only multi-team battle, which illustrates Cloud's journey, choosing friendship over narcissism. The battle culminates in a showdown with the angelic Sephiroth. The fake man has reinvented himself as a fake god. The location is nonsensical, a floating sky palace actually deep underground. A backing track choir sings his praises in Latin as a generous, glorious god. He fights with illusions. At one point he appears to do no less than temporarily destroy the entire solar system. But this fight is full of ironies. Sephiroth now wears a fake halo and a model of a star. In his grandest illusion, his godhood is only a costume. That face is the rage of someone humiliated, someone seen. Shame is the secret weakness of Sephiroth's soul. The compulsion to project his image over and over, initially a superpower, ultimately traps him. He can't escape his wounded self-image the way Cloud can. He's compelled to project illusions in defense of his ego. But illusions are no match for reality. Defeated, safer Sephiroth's illusory body shatters into pieces and dissolves into air. Literally a hollow man.